It's been a week since I quit my job to focus on my business, and I'm going to tell you guys how it's been because it's not been going well. I quit my job a week ago to focus on my social media management business, and it has been very overwhelming. I will say that entrepreneurship is hard. I absolutely am going crazy. 2 days after, I started looking for jobs on Indeed and LinkedIn because I realized, like, whoa, I missed the structure. I missed having a consistent paycheck. With running a social media management business, I feel like all I've been doing is chasing clients and doing client acquisition, like trying to just retain them and find them. And it's just kind of exhausting, to be honest. Like, at least with the 9 to 5, you know you get paid to do your work and then you leave and work's done. You can like shut your brain off. With entrepreneurship, I feel like I'm just always thinking about business and how to get clients, and it can be very exhausting. So that's where I've been struggling the most. And then, of course, like self doubt, not getting clients just yet. I have one client right now. My goal is to land 2 to 3 more clients, but it feels very exhausting if I'm being honest. And there's a saying that people say that you leave your 9 to 5 to work 24/7. And that feels very true. Like, I feel like I'm working from sun out to sundown. Like, even when work is done, I'm always thinking about researching or new content ideas. So I need to give myself more structure. Also, I have ADHD, so trying to give myself structure is super hard. And I'm finding that I miss the aspect of going into an office at a 9 to 5. Yeah, this is my 1 week update. I'm trying to stay strong and hopeful. I already had an interview like a day ago because that's how up and down I've been. I was like, whoa, hold on. Maybe I need to go back to work. This job I applied for before I quit my job, and they got back to me this week. And I was like, well, for shits and giggles, let me just do the interview just in case. But I also feel like by doing that, I'm telling the universe that I'm not serious. So I don't know if I should like stop doing that, like, and just focus on business. Like, if I'm gonna go all in, just go all in. That's my update on how it's going for entrepreneurship. And make sure you follow the journey to see if I land my 2 to 3 clients. It's been a week since I quit my job to focus on my business, and I'm going to tell you.
She's just lazy. She's just lazy. We've got a lot of indications of that. But at the end of the day, funny enough, she didn't even apply for this job like right now. She didn't apply for it currently. It was just something that she applied for a long time ago and it came back around and now she's considering it. Here's the net of this situation. What in your right mind makes you think that you can quit your job and you don't have any clients? She decided to quit her job for her business, her social media management business, with no clients. And she thought that she was just going to build up a bunch of clients after she left her job. Ma'am, even if you had clients, you really should have stayed at your job. And you should be burning both ends of the candle. And if at some point you do decide to quit your job for your business, your social media management or social media consulting business, whatever you may have it, you don't do that until it actually becomes an opportunity cost. Here's what I mean. You should say, I have so many clients and so many people on the list that want to become clients that me actually working this job is hindering my ability to make more money because I'm actually not able to take as many clients as I possibly can because I have to allocate my time to this job. If you're not at that point, you do your social management company and you work your job. And then I think what you'll find is you'll be more comfortable. But I don't think she wants to work on both ends. I think she just wants to still work regularly, but I think she just wants to be able to be creative and do everything on her social media management side. But and she just thought the money was just going to be flowing. It doesn't work like that. It's going to be a grind. Business is a grind. It's not just I have this great idea and everything pops off just how I want it to. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype.
Today, I am going to be putting in my 2 weeks to leave my job to become a full-time content creator. It is just so crazy to me that this is where I'm at in my life. I feel like I'm really, really excited, but I'm also nervous because I'm not going to be getting a check. I'm really putting all my trust, all my faith in God because I feel like this is where I need to be and I need to take the opportunity to do it now. I don't know how things are going to look, But I do trust that God is going to guide me, and I trust in my mind, I trust in my creativity, and that is all that I need. 2026, I want to move different. I want to be able to reach my goals. I don't want anything to hold me back. I don't think that my current job is worth the life that I know that I could have. And I'm young, why not? If you have been looking for a sign, take this as your sign. Life is way too short to just give it to a 9 to 5. I feel like God, didn't make us creatives for no reason. God didn't give you the mind that He has given you for no reason. So tap into that. Don't get sucked up in the corporate world and lose your dreams and your goals simply because you just don't have the time. So do it scared. Do it without knowing what's going to happen. Just do it. Here's to new beginnings. Here's to choosing myself and putting myself first. Here's to trusting in God and moving with intention. Today,
Y'all, have you ever thought of like a good idea and then all of a sudden you start seeing your idea more and more and you're like, hey, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Maybe there's something within the culture that's getting me to think this way, but I thought it was straight for me. Like, for example, I thought of like cool things to say, creative things to say, add to the way that I talk or maybe terms. And then I'll see somebody else say it. Like an example is like, I remember I was like, the gym is like the new club. And then I started hearing people say that. And I was like, hmm, that's not really, that's not as creative as I thought. Everybody's saying this. I think that I think people need to start taking that approach when they have this idea. I'm about to be a full-time content creator. You should like search the term full. I'm about to be a full-time content creator. And then I think she would have saw a lot of saturation and that everybody wants to do that. And then I think it would have gave her a reality check of like, well, wait a second. Let me step back from this. What is it in the ether that's getting everybody wanting to be a full-time content creator? And then she would also saw some videos like the last one we just saw where they're like, oh, I'm going back to my job. This ain't what I thought it was. This ain't what it's all cracked up to be. And then that would have basically got her mind right. And I think she would have been grateful that she did that. But it seems like she's not going to get that bop, right? That bop back into reality. It seems like she's going to have to find out the hard way. Or maybe not.
326 days ago for social media. So today we're gonna go to the movie theater in the middle of the day just because we can. It's keeping dainty, simple. I'm sorry, I'm not beating my face to sit in the dark. It's not happening. Y'all thought I was going to dress up, huh? We're sitting in the dark. I'm not dressing up. I want to be comfy. And I don't know what it is about the theaters, but it's always cold. I forgot to tell you, but we're watching Avatar. I can't really talk because, we're supposed to be quiet. So we'll reconvene after. The movie was so good. I'm an Avatar fan, so I was already geeked out before I started watching it. All I'll say is those kids never listen. It's starting to get frustrating. But if I had to rate the movie, I would say it was a 10 out of 10. But I already knew it was going to be a 10 out of 10 because the whole series is great. Also, the movie was 3 hours and 18 minutes. So there's nothing wrong with my attention span, thankfully. But anyways, thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you on I'll catch you on the flip side. That's why I said on YouTube. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you on the flip side. I quit.
And speaking of flip side, see, and this is the flip side of what I mentioned earlier. Although if she searched up the term, I quit my job for social media, she'll probably see a lot more people who regret it. When you come across things like this, it gives you hope because it seems like she's living her best life. Like she said, she can just do whatever she wants. She can go watch Avatar during the middle of the day. And so these are the type of videos that make people think that they're just going to be able to do it, but it's ultimately still not the smart decision. And understand this. You have to be objective. You got to kind of know yourself too. And here's what I mean. She has a lot of personality, and she's even got a girlish charm to her that's very charming and it's very cool to watch. So if you don't have that or something intangible that you can lean on and, that'll help you to continue to grow, listen, I would still recommend just do both. Get the money on both sides because that's an opportunity. And we see so many people who now in today's environment, in today's economy, are struggling, and even worse than that, a lot of them are ending up on the streets. And it's because when they had opportunities to get ahead, they did the easy thing and they took the easy way out, and they didn't have a safety net to be able to fall back on.
2 years to work a 9 to 5, and after that I'd quit and figure it out. And when I tell you that it was the best decision I ever made, look at this. I would not make that on a Monday morning on a 9 to 5.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
And it's crazy because this is how my account has been looking for the last 60 days. 29K in the last 60 days? Bro, that's close to someone's salary. And I don't say this to show off or to none of that. I say this so that I can show you guys that it's possible. Bro, if you look at my account, my engagement isn't anything crazy, and I still managed to make close to 30K in less than in 2 months. Money is always there. You just have to find a way to it. And a 9 to 5 is the safe way, but it's not the best route. Because if it wasn't for me taking that risk and leaving my 9 to 5, I would have never been looking at what I'm looking at now. I genuinely am in shock. I am from the Bronx. I grew up with nothing. My parents made their best attempt to give me what they never had, and they did a great job. I'm not in the streets. I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to. I just make random TikToks and yeah. But I want this to serve as a message for anyone who's watching this. You can change your life. As long as you believe in yourself, you can do anything that you want. And I genuinely mean that. I've been speaking about doing social media since I was a little kid. Everyone clowned me. Everyone was like, no, you need a job. You need a 9 to 5. You need to be stable. No, I don't want to be stable. Some people spend their whole lives at jobs and don't get rewarded, right? So why would I stay in a place where I'm underappreciated when I can appreciate myself and figure it out for myself? I don't care if it sounds corny, but you can do it. You can do whatever it is you put your mind to. And if you have this slight chance, if you have this slight doubt in your brain, let go of it. That's not going to serve you anything. Don't let anyone get in your ear about what you can and can't do. Tell yourself what you can do. What do you want to do? What makes you happy? Whatever it is, figure it out and go for it. Take that risk. Because genuinely, anything really is possible. As long as you believe in yourself. And I don't care how corny that is. That's what got me this far. Oh yeah, and procrastination, yeah, that's not going to help. That is going to be your worst nightmare. So let go of that, work on that, and then just go for it. Just go for it and let go of it.
See, here's the thing. I can't tell her anything personally for her situation because she's making 30 grand a month, right? So, cool. Let's put that to the side for a second. What I can address is her advice that she's giving out to everyone else. Because if she's not going to admit that she's an outlier case, then she's out of her mind. She is absolutely the exception to the rule. And she's telling everybody to take that risk. Take that risk. Basically, leave your 9 to 5. Cool. If you want, listen, take that risk if you want to, but also take that responsibility as well if that risk don't work out. Because what I see a lot of people who took that risk, then they come on here begging. Or they took that risk. Now they want that assist. Dance, assistance, government assistance. And that's no longer really an option for the most part. So you could take that risk if you want to, or you do the guaranteed option. Listen, if you're making money on that side, still be stable over here. Because ideally, what you'd have done is you'd have chose a career anyway. And by career, I deem that as something that appreciates over time. So that means that while you're over here getting this money for the time being, because guess what? I don't know if this video was from September 2025. And we know now in 2026, April, that a lot of things have changed as far as TikTok creators not getting paid. So, listen, she was in the golden age of TikTok. She was making money. But what's that looking like right now? I say that to say there can be periods where you make lot of money. And those periods can dry up. And then you can literally go from 30,000 to nothing. So then what do you have to fall back on? Well, if she'd have had a career, something that appreciates over time, something that she's growing in, maybe climbing the ladder in, whatever, then she'll still be just fine and she'll still be moving up in that aspect. So, in totality, what I'm saying is diversify because moving forward, 2026 and beyond, it's going to be very important to be diversified, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your outside endeavors that you're partaking in order to make a little extra money, whether it's in your investments. You're going to have to be diversified because you're going to have to be hedging against all the different variables that are coming at us and that are coming at us fast.
It's been exactly 6 months since I kind of randomly quit my job and decided to become a stay-at-home mom and pursue social media. So I wanted to tell you just kind of an update over the last 6 months and what my life looks like since quitting my corporate job. So I experienced complete burnout at my job. I wasn't happy anymore. It stressed me out. I was so overwhelmed. I wanted to be home with my baby more. I was crying all the time, like all the things I was experiencing. And it took me so many months to get to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to quit and I'm going to stay home with my son as much as I can and try to pursue this social media thing. I'm going to try. I know that there's money out there. And I'm going to just go for it. And fingers crossed it works out. Keep in mind, at my job, I was making really good money. Now, I was only working part-time. I was working 3 days a week, but making a lot of money for working part-time. So that was a really, really big risk to me to step back from that consistent income to do social media where I have no idea if I'm even going to make a penny. Now, while I was still working, of course, I was doing social media at the same time. So I was making a little bit of money while I was working, but definitely not enough for it to like cover my income. So again, I finally just got to the point where I'm like, I'm done and I'm just going to try to do this. So I quit my job back in July, the beginning of July. And since July, I've been very successful. I've grown my page by tens of thousands of followers, which when that happens, typically more brands see you, they want to work with you. So I have had a lot more brand outreach over the last 6 months since I quit my job. And I'm just a lot more active online because now this is what I'm trying to do, right? So I did some calculations last night and I literally made the exact amount of money the second half of the year than I made the first half of the year when I was working my job. So I literally made the exact same amount of money doing social media than when I was working my corporate job. So that has worked out great for
I knew she wasn't going to say numbers. She's not been saying numbers the whole time, which is fine. That's her prerogative. And, she's saying her realistic update. Ultimately, the way she's framing this is like she took a leap of faith. But I see a ring on her finger and she mentioned her baby. And what I feel like she's not disclosing, listen, if you want to keep the numbers to yourself, keep the numbers to yourself. But what I feel like you are not disclosing that is very important information for the advice that you're giving is the fact that you got a man and possibly even have a husband. And so it's a difference. It's absolutely a difference. You were working part-time to begin with. What type of single mom with a child works part-time? Somebody with a husband. So you need to include that because although I don't think that it should be rare, you are rare in modern times. What do I mean by rare? Being a single mother, being a mother and being married in 2026, that's not common. So you need to specify that and you need to outline that so people know that before they just do it for their single mom behind quits their job trying to pursue social media because they're being optimistic because they've been seeing these positive stories, but they didn't have the other context behind that.
me. It's been great. I've had so much more free time. I hang out with my friends more. I'm outside more. Just like overall, I am so much happier and I'm still making money. I'm doing what I like to do, but I'm also going to talk about some of the downsides of trying to pursue this basically full time. So, the first downside for me is you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to get a paycheck. I literally am just kind of waiting for opportunities to pop up in my inbox, right? And of course, I do some outreach. I email brands and pitch myself. I actually signed with a management company during this time, and it just didn't work out for me. I didn't love it. Didn't have a great experience, so I decided to step away from that because I really like to represent myself when it comes to working with brands. So anyway,
Hmm.
I'm just like kind of waiting every day. Like, I wonder if someone's going to reach out today, or if I wonder if someone's going to respond to my email for me pitching myself. And that's scary, not knowing. It's the unknown. Like, am I going to make money this month? I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. And I'm the type of person where it's like I like to know things. So that has been a really big struggle over the last 6 months. I have at least one day a week where I kind of feel overwhelmed and a little stressed about like what's going to happen this month. I don't know. It's always worked out for me every month, but it's still just the unknown. The second thing is I work all the time. I'm always on my phone. I'm always coming up with ideas. And now that I'm trying to do this full time, I feel like I constantly have to be on. Like anything I do, I need to be filming. I need to come up with an idea. I need to be posting a link. I need to be doing this. And this is coming from someone who isn't a very big creator. It's just me trying. I'm like trying to build the foundation. So I just feel like I constantly have to be present and online and posting products for people to maybe want to buy, and just
Well, that's cool. And you see, it's a grind because what I took away from that second part is that she's really not making a lot of money off of TikTok per se. She's making money off of brand deals, which is a whole different animal. And like she said, she either has to sit and wait, or I guess she tried to go after them at one point, but I think that she found that that was pretty much, you know, that wasn't smart. It wasn't worth the time spent trying to go after deals. So she tried to go with a management company, and that didn't work out either, because probably because they were getting a percentage off of it, and she preferred to get the entire amount. And I looked at her profile, and yes, she has a man. So again, we confirmed that. So now we can understand why she's so calm, why she's able to just sit back and wait for the deals to come to her, and she's not really that worried about it. And she's saying she's stressed, but she's just stressed because she wants to be successful. She's not stressed because of actual survival needs. And that's the biggest thing to take away. Y'all, we'll leave it there for the day. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second. It actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller content creator, we actually get more points per hype. And then also Patreon link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.